Our dear Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus, we come before you. We are grateful for this morning. We are grateful for the panel discussion that we're about to have. Father, we pray that as we begin this journey, as we launch our strategic plan, that you are going to enable us to implement good plans for the college, that you are going to enable us to have a vision that is going to drive this institution to higher grounds. Father, we pray for our leaders. We pray for the panelists that as they're going to engage in this discussion, they may bring forth insight about the development plan that's for this institution. We pray all these in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Thank you so much, Dr. Marcella, for that prayer. So we are beginning off, and as I had said earlier, these are some of the pre-launch activities that KMTC has planned to do and undertake during this period before the launch on 28th of June 2023. So in our panel today, we have Dr. Kelly Olwach, who is the CEO, Kenya Medical Training College. We also have a representative from the National Council of Kenya, Dr. Gladys Mashira. Feel welcome. We also have other panelists who will join in and who will also help in the discussion. Now I'll direct our questions to CEO, Kenya Medical Training College, to give welcoming remarks and also give us an highlight on the strategic plan. CEO, what can we expect from this strategic plan 2023-2028? Karim.
Thank you, Principal Kimotich. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Good morning.
Let me say that I'm excited and very happy that we have this session today to explore the new strategic plan. First, let me say that the strategic plan that we are concluding this month has been of help to the organization in that it has helped the organization achieve certain very key milestones. Number one, we have been able to sustain the quality of training. Number two, KMTC up to now is a very premium institution and is the preferred institution in training medical courses in the country. And number three, the institution has been able to grow its financial base, student population, and its sustainability has improved through its ability to collaborate with other stakeholders. We are therefore proud and thankful to God and every stakeholder and everybody who has been part of achieving that milestone in the strategic plan that is ending. Now, as we transit to the new strategic plan, we can only look and set our eyes further to make the institution perform better. For example, in the new strategic plan, we aim to have a global presence. So therefore, our vision changes from a model institution in training health professionals to a globally competitive institution in training health professionals. Our vision, our mission basically retains the key elements that are in the strategic plan that has ended in producing competent health professionals through training, research, and consultancy services. Essentially, we have retained major parts of our core values. And again, we want to say that these core values have helped us to reach this far. But we also want to ensure that we emphasize the place of accountability, we emphasize the place of integrity, we emphasize the place of responsiveness and equity, and also the issue of teamwork, professionalism, creativity, and innovation. These are values we espouse and hold very dear to us, because as an institution, we must be able to help the country and the president to deliver on its mandate, on his mandate of ensuring universal health coverage, and that people at the economic, the bottom of economic pyramid are given services. And in this case, availability of our training at the lowest level. Now, we want to also now train our focus on certain areas that now mean a lot to us. Number one, we want to continuously improve the quality of our training. You are aware, Mr. Kimwetich, that we are looking at providing the global market with human resources for health. And therefore, the quality that we churn out of the institution must be the very best to compete at an international stage. For that purpose, we are adjusting our structure to accommodate ability to feed the international market with human resources for health. Number two, we are looking at ability to make our students or graduates competent at the international market. And so we are introducing few more items into the quality of training. That is, we want to be able to train various languages at third-year level, or at a level where it enables students to learn specific competencies that allow them to compete at an international stage. We are also looking at setting up an examination center that will enable various international examining bodies to examine students at our institution. Secondly, we are looking at the issue of collaboration. We are looking at the issues of research and consultancy in a deeper way. We want to be able to have international conferences at Kenya Medical Training College. We want to improve the quality of our research. Peer-reviewed research items and articles should be available. Then we are looking at transforming the institution through digital transformation. And this is a key milestone that we need to achieve in order to ensure that the college is not only efficient, but also effective in implementing its mandate. You are aware that with the kind of spread we have as an institution across the country, then it could only be better if we are able to operate effectively and efficiently. And digital transformation through various interventions by going paperless is what we want to achieve in this new strategic plan. We are also looking at the issue of institutional sustainability. We are very glad that our principals and other stakeholders, and through our admission criteria, we've been able to give opportunities to more than 58,200 students to learn at Kenya Medical Training College. Going further, we see ourselves being able to attain a student population of 70,000 students. This will enable us to feed the international market and also retain sufficient personnel in the local market to avoid brain drain. And so what we are looking at in institutional sustainability is financial capacity to sustain growth, to sustain quality, to sustain research and innovation. And so for us, we want to ensure that the institution is able to grow and balance its revenue base so that we are able to attract more resources internally compared to what we get from the central government through grants. So we are also looking at sustainability in terms of collaborations and partnerships and resource mobilization. In this area, we want to ensure that we have sufficient number of partners to work with us. Just yesterday, we had Mindray and Omaira Pharmaceuticals donating to us equipment at the Medical Imaging Sciences. We are proud of that kind of collaboration. What we want to do is to make sure we have industry academia partnership that enables infusion of technology and improving the quality of our training through interaction with the real-time technology at the marketplace, through leveraging on the industry capabilities to ensure that our students and staff have contemporary current knowledge on various technologies that are emerging in the marketplace. We are hoping that at the end of the 5 years, our departments, which are technologically driven, are going to embrace technology that enables us to provide current state-of-the-art services to the marketplace. We are also hoping that we will transform some of the things we are doing in this institution into revenue generation. Like, for example, we should be able to use orthopedic technology department to produce prosthetics for the market. We should be using dental technology department to produce dentures to the market. We should be using pharmacy department to produce various interventions for the marketplace, including herbal medicine. We should be able to use optometry department, not only as a department of teaching, but as a revenue generating department. Several departments should be able to be key in providing not only teaching services, but be able to use the capabilities they have to provide services that are also generating revenues for sustainability and updating the department technologies and equipment. We are also looking at making use of our clinics to generate more revenue by enabling NHIF to work with us and using the staff we have at the department at their free time to provide services at the clinic. We, as an institution, want to ensure that as we provide services and train, we remain sustainable in terms of ensuring that not only do we generate sufficient revenues, but we become responsible citizens. So in the institutional sustainability, we have incorporated the issue of corporate social responsibility. This will ensure that as we provide services, we make our environment sustainable and we are responsible citizens that enable this country and the world to be a better place for the generations that will come after us. Thank you, Mr. Mwetich. We are hoping that our partners like Nursing Council, like other regulatory bodies, with the Ministry of Health, we will be able to sit together and be able to work a way in which the things that we have stated for ourselves will be achieved in an amicable environment. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, CEO, for dissecting our coming strategic plan. That has come out clearly. We really appreciate your comments. Now, our CEO has touched on many things, including quality of training, which I will later ask Dr. Nyawira, to our DDA to say something about it. CEO KMTC has also mentioned digital transformation, of which I will ask Dr. Sheru to mention something after a short while. Now, Nursing Council as a regulator, Dr. Gladys Mashira, are we there? Are we able to achieve this as our CEO has stated? How is the Nursing Council ready for this? Dr. Gladys Mashira, kindly give your comments.
Okay, thank you and good morning, everyone. Congratulations to KMTC. That is a big dream. And to respond to the question, yes, what is proposed is achievable. I'm happy to hear about the aim and the vision that KMTC has, especially to ensure that the graduates are competent and they can compete internationally. For that, I'll say congratulations, and I would want to assure and confirm that we are here to support you as Nursing Council of Kenya. We are interested in the product that is produced to be able to provide safe healthcare to the Kenyan citizenry and also globally. We have actually for a while been able to produce very good nurses. From the feedback we get and the rating, we have observed that Kenya is becoming one of the sources where various countries are visiting to be able to have nurses join them and provide care in their country. So I am happy with what KMTC has put in place and has proposed, and we will work together to ensure the same happens. We will also be able to work together. I'm also happy to hear about the aspirations regarding adding more courses to ensure that the nurses and the midwives and even the rest of the graduates that you produce in the other courses will be globally competitive. That is also a good step. And we are here to support you in the event there is a course you feel you would want to introduce to the nursing and midwifery fraternity, and probably as at now does not exist. Our doors are open for discussion, and that is an area we can support you in. I'm happy also to hear about the inclusion of technology. We have quite a lot that is changing, and that we are not left behind as healthcare providers, and that would be a good concept to consider. One of the challenges that maybe probably I would also be able to hear about as we continue is the issue of AI. I know we've had quite a lot about it, and that is now something that I know is also going to affect the kind of training that is proposed. And also looking forward to KMTC in the aspirations of continuous high quality training. I'm glad and I'm looking forward to seeing a number of simulation centers as well in KMTC. And I know that will go a good way. So yes, the question is yes, KMTC with the major aspirations, it is doable, and we are here to support because I know together we can achieve that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Gladys Mashira, for those comments. Now, as a regulator, how can we improve healthcare performance as KMTC so that we churn out competent health professionals to the labor market?
Thank you. I think I'll make my comment probably on, I think on two areas. The first area will be one of the things that can be done is to tighten the training that happens within the training institution itself, that is KMTC. And I know that that training is also supported by the clinical sites, but the first comment would be towards enhancing structures within KMTC. And one of them would be to ensure that where you have specialized programs, you are also able to have staff that are also matching that area of specialization. That would be one of the proposals I would make. Secondly, KMTC has been doing well in the aspect of training, but I would want to request that a lot can be done in the aspect of monitoring that training. Especially, let me take the aspect of skills lab. My proposal would be we try and tighten the training that happens within the skills lab by ensuring that we are monitoring the skills we are teaching, and we're also evaluating that students within their skills lab before we can release them to the health facility. On the aspect of now the rotation within the hospital, which is also a requirement for the training, My proposal would be to tighten the communication between the training institution, which is KMTC, and the hospitals that they are using. By tightening, and I mean, maybe one of the consideration would be to have some scheduled visits where we have the faculty in KMTC being able to consistently following the students in the hospital setting. Because as it is right now, we have a few challenges in the hospitals, especially regarding health workforce. We notice that some of the hospitals have few nurses and few midwives, and that poses a challenge to the students who would like to learn. So if KMTC faculty is also able to support in terms of now the actual monitoring in the hospital itself, that would be a big step. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for those insights, Dr. Gladys. Now with us also in the panel is Dr. Martin Sirengo, who has just joined us. Welcome, Dr. I will give you time, you settle, and then pose some questions to you so that we have discussions. So earlier, we had said there are issues of quality training, and also there are issues of digital transformation. So I would kindly ask DDA to kindly expound more on this quality training in KMTC. Dr. Nyawiram.
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Mwetich. Yes, so quality training, because our main accommodate is in training, training different health professions who are fit for purpose. So our mission, now we're revising it to training fit for purpose. What does fit for purpose mean? It means they are competent, it means they are responsive, it means they have the skills, whether it is digital skills or technical skills. It means they have, if it's communication skills, it means they have the attitude that is required. It means also they are able to continue to learn, because we have this concept of lifelong learning. In addition, it means that they can be clinicians, but they are also researchers, they are also educators, because we need all these roles. As we realize, usually we need people to play the different roles. So we have looked at what are the gaps. We have listened to their feedback from industry, from our very own graduates, from our students, from our stakeholders, to see where the gaps that we can enhance training and ensure that we are going with the times, meeting the current needs. So for example, a lot has changed over time, like technology. And here I'm not using technology, not just information, communication, education technology. Technology has changed, whether it's medical technology, whether it's laboratory equipment, even very, very simple equipment for maybe rapid tests. There's a lot of change. So our training must enable our students to quickly adapt to the circumstances. Also, our graduates work in different places. It's not uniform. So they will work, some in urban areas, some will work in the very, very remote areas, some work in the international market. So what we mean the quality is that we are enabling, we are empowering our students to learn even when they are working, but also that they go out with the skills that are required. So this involves, number one, looking at the market. So we are training people who have can take the technology, but that's the digital skills. I think Dr. Mashida has talked about AI. So we can no longer, forget about AI. So what we need to do is to make sure we are empowering our students as well as our staff to take up these skills and to also engage with communities, because we do not, again, want to be an ivory tower where we are advanced, but we are not in touch with the current situation. So we are saying it's a holistic kind of training. So in all our processes, yes, we are going to undertake digital transformation, but we are saying that in itself is necessary, but not sufficient. So we are training somebody who can cope, who can address all issues all around. So the CEO mentioned, for example, we are training people even in language, because language is an important medium for communication. So to languages for the international market, because now we have the potential for migration, we are training them with that. We are empowering them to do professional examinations. We are also seeking a lot of accreditation, maintaining accreditation that we have, but also additional accreditation. For example, for CPD for the various cadres. So these are things we are doing. We want to also see the non-traditional forms of education. So like having people from industry or guest lecturers, even people from other countries participate, it's important. We're also looking at having centers of excellence in various things. So we have defined what we mean by a center of excellence and also the process of getting there. So I want to say that the concept of the quality, even as a concept of the digital, it is broad, it is broad, it is in the broad sense of the words, and that the end we want to have fit for purpose graduates. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Didier, for those comments. Indeed, that is quality training. So it also came out clearly that we shall require digital transformation. And to dissect for us this, I would ask Dr. Kisheru to kindly make a comment.
Thank you, moderator, Mr. Kimwetich, and the fellow panelists. We are very delighted to speak into the issue of digital transformation. I think when we were young and we were growing up, the digital age looked like it was in the future. But the future has now arrived. We are in the digital age, and digital technology is transforming many industries, and including education. So we as an institution of higher learning need to think about how we are part of that journey of digital transformation. When we think of digital transformation, it is greater than just having technology. KMTC has invested a lot in technology. We have e-learning platforms and ERPs and different technologies that we're utilizing. And incorporation of digital transformation in our strategic plan going forward, I think just speaks to the fact that there is a realization that there's more than just getting the technology. There is a lot more that needs to be done as an institution to ensure that then there is a digital culture. And some of the things that have been incorporated, which I think are important and essential components of a digital transformation, is yes, technology. And we are looking to see how we can utilize more technology and leverage on the positive aspects of technology. And some of the positive aspects we're thinking about is more collaboration, and even as Dr. Mashira has said, the use of AI, the use of simulation. So there are those kinds of positive aspects of technology that we are going to be utilizing. But then the other aspect that we have realized is data. I think health workers now are realizing, even as we're having this conversation about fit for purpose, is that we're generating a lot of data. What and how do we utilize that data? So we want to also incorporate that culture of data utilization in our training, and as part of the skills that we will teach our lecturers as well as students, so that they can make sense of that data. I think as they go into the workplace, they're required to use EHRs, they're required to use EMRs. So they're constantly generating data. But how do you make sense and interpret that data? And we will have trainings for that. We will have opportunities for people to interrogate. We want to connect with healthcare providers in different sectors to look at data and understand it and use it. We ourselves as an institution, I think, will have an opportunity to look at the data we generate and then also utilize it. I think to see, our return on investment, our impact. The other thing is that digital transformation also talks about action. It talks about a mindset. We want to have teachers who are moving more towards utilizing and leveraging on technology, maybe even innovating and coming up with technology. I think as KMTC, we've got very many courses that we offer that can actually, where ideas can come out of, whether you're thinking of technology or optometry, as you have mentioned, or you're thinking, medical engineering. So it's an exciting space, and I think a space that KMTC can easily get into and begin to grow in. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Kisheru, for that. I know health labor market may not thrive if we are not technologically sound. So thank you for those comments. Now, I would wish to bring in Dr. Martin Sirengo to comment something about policy. And Dr. Martin Sirengo is the head intergovernmental relations at the Ministry of Health. So I would really wish to ask Dr. Sirengo if there are policy or investment decisions that we anticipate may affect the health labor market in this country. Dr. Sirengo, welcome and give your remarks.
Thank you, Daniel. You can hear me?
Yes, yes, clear.
And apologies, you will not see my video. I am en route from between offices.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah, but thank you very much for this opportunity. And first of all, I want to congratulate KMTC for this milestone. As the saying goes, if you don't plan, then you're planning to fail. So first of all, I think it's important that the listeners also know that I sit on the board of KMTC on behalf of Director General for Health. So apart from doing what I do at the ministry, and policy issues are very key in planning the delivery of services. For KMTC, the core mandate is training, of course, and we are glad that we are discussing about the next plan for the 5 years that are coming ahead. From where I sit from the ministry, this strategic plan is a very key policy document, as outlined by the CEO in the opening remarks. And the key areas, of course, focusing on quality of training, sustainability, digital transformation, and so on. I have been in discussions with the senior management of KMTC about this strategic plan, and my take is simple, that as KMTC, we must position ourselves to be the KMTC of the 22nd century, not even 21st. What does that mean? It means that we must be an institution that is attractive to the learners who want to come. We must be an institution that responds to the changing needs of society. We must be an institution that embraces innovation and the changing requirements of society. For us to do that, we of course have to strengthen all those pillars that we have talked about. But more importantly, as KMTC, we have to learn from our past experiences. And therefore, as we do the policy framework to guide our actions, we must learn from the past and also prepare ourselves for the future. One big challenge that KMTC faces right now is competition. There are so many mid-level medical training institutions that are coming up. And therefore, as an institution, we have to position ourselves to be the go-to institution for training. We have to be attractive enough in terms of the courses that we put in place, investing in the old courses that are still relevant, and also thinking about the new courses. And I'm glad that we've not been left behind in terms of developing new curricula to respond to this. How is our training modalities positioned? Are we stuck with the old traditional classroom methodology? Technology that we have now does not allow us to keep doing things the same way. So we have to invest in digital transformation in terms of having platforms for training. And not just that, I think we look at the whole spectrum, right from the admission, training, examination, certification, and all that. And we're happy that as we do that, we are working with the regulatory organizations to ensure that that happens. The other challenge that KMTC must position themselves to respond to, which I'm happy to note that is there within the strategic plan, is training for the world, not just Kenya. There is so much now, so much appetite for KMTC graduates from all over the world, be it within Africa, the UK, Middle East, and the United States. And therefore, we have to think about what are these courses that people are looking for, and we invest much more into those courses. I know we have a duty to ensure that we continue with the courses that we have, but we need to invest much more into the courses that are being asked for from all over the world. And therefore, I will wish to see that as KMTC, we invest much more in nursing, because that is what many people are asking for. We have to upscale the faculty. We have to upscale the teaching infrastructure that we have for that particular course, so that we respond to that market. So going forward, the last thing that we have to respond to in terms of policy as an institution is equity. As an institution of government, we are under obligation to ensure that the opportunities that we provide are equally available across the country to all counties, whether they're marginalized or they're well-off counties. And therefore, we have to have a conversation about our strategy for reaching those areas. I know we do have nearly 75 campuses, but we have to consolidate all this and make sure that they're serving the purpose that we are here to serve. So in brief, Daniel, that's what I have to say now, but I will be jumping in at any other time. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Siren. Thank you for those comments. Thank you so much. The communication team kindly add a representative from NEA. She has joined as attendee. So upgrade so that is able to join the panel. Also, yeah, thank you. Thank you. Daktari has mentioned quite a number of things about policy. And I don't know if that person from there, let me check if he has been upgraded, not yet. So the ICT team kindly upgrade the NEA representative to a panelist. So Dr. Martin Sidengo has mentioned quite a number of things about policy. He has mentioned about issues of exporting healthcare workers beyond Africa. And from the Nursing Council point of view, how is the potential of immigration of health workers, especially the nursing in this country? Dr. Gladys Mashira.
Okay, thank you. Regarding migration of nurses and midwives, I would say they are actually leaving. Maybe if I would try to give an example to put into perspective, at the Nursing Council, one of the roles that we play when nurses or midwives want to leave the country is that we are expected to provide some form of verification to ascertain that one has gone through the training and qualified and actually registered and in good standing with the council. So among the verifications that we conduct, let me say within 3 months, we verify more than 1,500 intentions. So if you look at that, the number of persons leaving the country is actually quite high. So the potential of immigration is there.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm waiting for somebody from NEA to join in. Okay.
Maybe I can ask Angela, kindly accept. I think there's a message sent for you to become a panelist. If you see it on your screen, kindly accept Angela. Thank you.
Okay. So as we wait for the other panelists to join in, our CEO can also chip in on the same. How is the potential for immigration of non-nursing programs?
Thank you, Kimwetich. There's a lot of potential, and that potential comes through the fact that we have equated our certificates with the Kenya National Qualifications Authority. Therefore, it is now intentional for us to then market the remainder of the courses internationally. But just to say a few things, if you look at various courses that we are offering that are technology-based, like pharmacy, because of the fact that we can now equate, then it should be possible for us to start exporting labor in this region. If you look at occupational therapy, it is a very viable and potential area for, especially for European market in this specialty. All we need to do is to be able to train in terms of ensuring that the quality that we are providing and the technology we are using is current and updated. If you look at physiotherapy, we have a lot of potential in this area. We are able to train our staff at international standards. As a matter of fact, we have partnered with Jackson's Clinic US, who are training specialized programs under physiotherapy, which are being uptaken not only in Kenya, but also the East African countries. And so our capacity to export human resources in this area is being enabled by ensuring that we have faculty from various areas of the world and using technology that is up to date, and even now using a platform that enables us to then teach at an international platform. Again, we have clinical medicine, which we are making efforts to have an international recognition of clinical medicine, which internationally are called physician assistants. So we want to have an international recognition across borders, that the professionals we produce here can then be able to offer their services across the borders and throughout the world. So this is an effort that we've been doing, and we have met with the clinical officers council and also the association to be able to discuss with them possibilities and engagement in international fora that enables standardization of training and practice. So the options we have are unlimited, given that we are also increasing the number of graduates that we put into the marketplace. In the last graduation, we had a new high of graduating 15,915 graduates. This year, we will have another new high of graduating more than 21,000 in the 2023 graduation. This means, therefore, that we have capacity to provide labor for the international market without draining in the local capacity for human resources. It therefore means that we as an institution will contribute immensely
Yeah, thank you so much, CEO, for those comments. Now, as we move, there are some questions in the chat. Yeah, I'm told the representative from the NEA has dropped off. I think she will be back shortly. Somebody is asking, what strategies can we employ as KMTC to evaluate the educating and deployment of fit-for-purpose health workforce? I think somebody mentioned fit-for-purpose. DDA, I think that she has answered that question. Now, I want to give a chance to any of the panelists to give comments, any reaction, so that we move ahead with the next question. The discussions that we've had may have informed some thoughts in you. So I want to give a chance to the panelists to give a comment, just a brief comment, and then I'll move to the next question.
I could go fast.
Yes.
Thank you. So on the issue about what it means fit for purpose and how we evaluate and educate, it's a very important question. So meaning that what we are training them to do, they can do it. So if it is about training to go and work in our communities, it means then that they can actually go there. Most of our community are rural, so we must be able to train people who are familiar with our rural setup and are ready to work there. We must also engage with health promotion. I think the question about fit for purpose for primary health care, because of the direction. It means the preventive and the promotive care are really important areas that we must look at. It means we must think about the local disease epidemiology and really focus on that. It also means we have to be very contextual and apply mentorship. So mentorship is a key thing so that we train people to do the things we're doing. It also means we need to have alignment. So alignment with policies. So whether it's about universal health coverage, we have to be aligned. So the issue of alignment is important. The issue of collaboration and partnership, the issue of data, which Dr. Gishero mentioned, the issue of evidence. So it is evidence informed. And we get that evidence from our routine data, which is often underutilized, also from research. So we use also from feedback, we get that. And then we have the policies that are supporting us to do that. So I would say those are some of the things that we can do. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Didier, for those comments. Now I'm told Ms. Angela Mbaya from NEA has joined. Welcome, Angela.
Thank you.
Yes. So we are having a webinar as KMTC, and what we are discussing today is mainly issues to do with health labor market. So feel welcome and listen in. We shall ask you shortly some questions pertaining to unemployment, underemployment in a short while. So Dr. Nyawira has given points, general comments. Now, is there any other panelist who would wish to also give comments in relation to what has been discussed?
Yes, I could comment.
Yes.
I'm going to weigh in also a bit on what Dr. Nyawira has mentioned, especially on the aspect of fit for purpose, health professionals. And I agree, actually, one of the things, and probably maybe one of the areas that KMTC would work on is to look at the courses that are currently in existence. And this one I would mention regarding nursing and midwifery, and probably explore and come up with courses that would enhance the skills of these nurses and midwives to be able to transition and move their thoughts from a disease focus aspect and move towards person-centered care. And this is because we are seeing very many changes, even in terms of dynamics. We have our population, which is advanced in age, quite elderly, and that comes with also some medical challenges. We also have the rising cases of the non-communicable diseases, whose approach is quite different from what is commonly used for the curative kind of conditions. So maybe also that would be one of the areas where KMTC would explore and see either additional courses or enhancing the existing courses to be able to channel out graduates that will be able to support these changes that are occurring in healthcare. And on our end as regulators, our role will of course be able to support and to study and to review the curriculum and provide approvals where these will be necessary. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Gladys Mashira. Now, there is a question that has been put across, and it mainly deals with the exporting of health workers. Do we run a risk as a regulator? Do you think we shall run a risk of exhausting our market to foreign countries?
Thank you for that question. I would say yes, we run a risk. At this time, we may be viewing things as comfortable. And I'm using the word comfortable because we are channeling out very high numbers than the numbers that are being absorbed in the market. And especially for the nurses and midwives. Roughly, we examine more than 10,000 nurses and midwives who, once successful, were able to register and license, and that's per year. But then if you look at the absorption rate in terms of employment, the numbers are not speaking to each other. And for that reason, there's an environment that we seem to be having a surplus. And so for now, we are able to have nurses moving, but that is an area that would need to be kept in check so that we don't find ourselves in a scenario where we have exported more and our healthcare services within the country are suffering. And so, yes, to your question is yes, we run a risk. If we don't keep our eyes on the immigration, we may have our health facilities facing quite a number of challenges.
Okay. Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much, Gladys Mashira, for those comments. Now I'll bring in Ms. Angela Baya. She will introduce herself and then comment something on this issue of exporting labor workforce. And as we export, we may face a risk of having less workers for our market, but maybe weighing on the challenges that we are currently facing as a country, where there are issues to do with unemployment, and also there is underemployment in some areas. Welcome, Angela.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can hear you clearly.
Thank you. My name is Angela from the National Employment Authority. I'm sorry I've been logging myself out and in. I didn't get your question clearly because I think I had been logged out. So I'm back. Can I?
Yes, yes. I will rephrase again. In this country, in terms of healthcare workers, we are facing challenges in terms of unemployment and underemployment. So I don't know, what are your thoughts as by your workplace, because you work for NEA, and
yes,
those are the things we deal on a daily basis. So what are your thoughts about unemployment and underemployment in terms of absorption of healthcare workers?
Thank you. I will look at cases of employment and unemployment in this perspective. As where we sit at the National Employment Authority, we are looking at the market and the nurses, and we realize that, of course, when we have more numbers compared to the job opportunities, we will have unemployment or underemployment. Underemployment is where you are not being utilized as per the course you are trained or the hours that you are supposed to put in to utilize what you are trained to do. So because of the numbers that we are having, that is when we are having cases of underemployment. We are having nurses being even employed in areas that are not even related to healthcare because they just need to have something to do, which then they are not utilizing what they have been trained in. Of course, unemployment, the economy may not be growing as expected. Numbers are out there, so it becomes difficult for every other person or every other nurse that has been trained to be absorbed in the labor market. So issues of unemployment and underemployment are not just in the nursing sector or the health sector, they are in every other sector in the economy of this country. So when we are looking at underemployment and employment, yes, they are there. And that is why I have had a panelist talking about opening up the market to even the international markets, of which from where we sit as the National Employment Authority and as the Ministry of Labor, we realize that we are having so many other countries approaching Kenya to have our nurses out there, but we just don't want to let them go like that. We want to engage in a framework so that we protect our nurses. So we have had countries that we have already had a discussion, but we are yet in the formal engagement, except the UK. So when the market opens up, I think working closely with the Nursing Council, we'll be able to work out in terms of opening up those opportunities to the nurses. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Angela Baya, for your comments. Now I would wish to call upon Dr. Martin Sirengo to also weigh in on this matter.
Thank you, Daniel. The discussion on labor market export is eliciting excitement and, of course, some challenges from different fronts. So I just wanted to point out that the Directorate of Health Sector Coordination, Intergovernmental Affairs, and International Health is where I sit right now as a director, and we are the ones mandated to coordinate the requests that come from bilateral partners. Those are countries or organizations requesting for different cadres of healthcare workers. So for now, as has been explained by the officer from the Employment Authority, sorry, I forgot her name, we are in a surplus, and we are not worried that we are going to exhaust these numbers, but to allay the fears that we may run a risk of exhausting the local pool of healthcare workers, I want to assure you that that is less likely to happen, because we have a database where we keep the numbers or the requests and the number of healthcare workers that we have in the country. As we speak, we have just a small number of requests for nurses that need to go out of the country, compared to the number of healthcare workers who are currently qualified but have no jobs. So we have a real-time monitoring system, and will not allow ourselves to get into the negative at any given time. So we should be assured of that and not worry at all about it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Martin Sirengo, for your comments. Yeah, indeed, these issues of exporting healthcare workers is bringing a lot of issues, and we're happy there is a regulator who is monitoring all these issues. I would wish to check questions in the chat, and someone is asking about issues to do with how can we deal with, and then that one we've already mentioned. Labor relations, somebody we've already mentioned. There are more questions. Let me check.
I could help you read through them.
Regarding utilization of ICT in training, what are the thoughts of the regulator in terms of leveraging on technology to advise on student-staff ratios? So maybe Nursing Council, issues to do with ICT, utilization of ICT in training. Anything you're doing as a regulator? Yes.
Okay, yeah, thank you for that question. Yes, we actually revising what we call our standards of education and practice. And one of the components in that standard is the ratios that we prescribe when it comes to aspects of teaching in the classroom and when it comes to aspects of teaching within the clinical areas. So we have actually been undertaking a survey, which we are at the tail end, and we will be able to provide guidance in terms of what ratios to consider. And the issue of technology, I know it came and hit us hard when COVID came. Previously, we were not having so many institutions, especially for nursing and midwifery, having most of the courses online. So we are exploring on that aspect of ratio and having it addressed. At the moment, what is clear is that as much as online training has been embraced, is that when it comes to clinical areas, for now, those are reserved as activities that will need to be undertaken physically. as they are hands-on. But yes, we are doing something, we're exploring, we're undertaking a survey to be able to get data that will now guide the country on what ratios to utilize. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. So there are no more questions in the chat. Now, viewers, we've almost come to the end of our panel discussion today. We are left with 10 minutes, and I would wish to ask our panelists to kindly give their closing remarks so that we close at 10. So I'll begin with Dr. Martin Sirenko. Closing remarks, kindly.
Thank you, Daniel. Mine is to once again congratulate the CEO and management for achieving this feat. We look forward to the launch, and of course, the really job begins with the implementation of the strategic plan, and more importantly, resourcing of the strategic plan. Please ensure that we have the resources to do the things that we have set out to do, and also keep tabs on key performance indicators for the strategic plan. We have an opportunity to learn and also change and modify at the midterm stage or another time. So we wish you all the best as we move forward to do our mandates in terms of training the mid-level healthcare workers to satisfy the local and international labor market in healthcare sciences. Thank you.
Thank you. Then Angela Mbaya, kindly your closing remarks. As she prepares, we can have Dr. Gladys Mashira to give her closing remarks.
Thank you. Mine is to wish KMTC all the best. Congratulations on this milestone that is ahead of you. And I'm glad to hear about the big vision to become globally competitive. And as Nursing Council of Kenya, regulators of the nursing and midwifery practice, we are here to support you. Our role is the setting of standards as well as enforcing that the same is adhered to. So whatever proposal you may have, new courses you would propose to be able to build the competencies of the graduates to make them internationally competitive, we are here to work together with you. Otherwise, I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Then we have Angela now online.
Thank you, Daniel. What I would just want to say that if we'll be able to address as a country the factors contributing to nursing unemployment, and if we are looking at KMTC implementing strategic reforms, the country will be able to create a conducive environment for nurse employment and maybe strengthen the overall healthcare system. Congratulations, nursing the KMTC, and thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Angela. DDA.
Yes, thank you very much. I want to appreciate the discussions that we have had. I appreciate our various partners. As we can see, there are various actors. They are actors in this environment of the health sector. And we have seen that there are various synergies that we can bring about. There is collaboration. We can have alignment if we collaborate, if we have dialogue, if we are on the table, and if we implement this plan together. The design of the plan is such that we need to be all on board. It's not something that KMTC can implement alone. So we need all of us to support one another to implement. I want to say that we have an official launch on the 28th of June here at the KMTC headquarters, and to say that we have invited all our partners, including those represented here, and we are looking forward to being with you and we can share more. I also want to say we have additional panel discussions tomorrow and the following day. Tomorrow it's about industry, and the following day is about the fitness for purpose. We want to look at this. We are happy to have your input in these factors. I know that you will also mention a bit more about the launch and going forward. But I thank you for participating in this activity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nyawira. I now call upon our CEO, KMTC, to give his closing remarks. Welcome, Dr.
Thank you, Mr. Kimwetich, and thank you, panelists, for agreeing to be in this discussion. Thank you, Dr. Nyawira, and your team for organizing this. I want to say as follows, that as an organization, we have to be deliberate about the change we want to bring into this marketplace. As an institution, we must be able to match our internal capabilities as an organization with the opportunities that are available in the marketplace. And that means, therefore, that we must then recognize what is available in terms of the requirements that the market demands from us. And as an institution, we should create an environment that enables us to take advantage of that environment. So therefore, as an institution, I want to say that we are open to discussion. We want to ensure that we work with our stakeholders very closely. We want to make sure that we align our capabilities with the resources that are available in the marketplace and opportunities. We also want to ensure that we continuously improve on our systems to ensure that standards are sustained and improved. We also want to ensure that in our attempt to meet international standards and compete at international level, we are not depleting the resources that we have for the local human resources for health. So we want to therefore ensure that we have a well-coordinated calibration between availing human resources for international market and meeting local needs for human resources. We are also looking at a point where we also look at moving our training from being clinically based to being patient-oriented. That is, being able to look at an individual need of a patient or the individual need of any consumer of our health resources for health, so that we are able to meet the international demand. We have aging workforce. We have citizens in other countries where the demographics have changed tremendously towards higher ages, and therefore we have demand that is very unique when we look at the international market. Instead of these markets looking for people to work in hospitals, they're looking at people to work with their aging population. Then that means, therefore, that the issue of fit for purpose then becomes very key in terms of training our personnel to meet the needs of the population, not only in the hospital setting, but at any environment that kind of care is needed. So I want to call upon all of us to have embrace teamwork, embrace collaboration, be able to hold ourselves to the highest standards of provision of services and integrity, and be able to support the government to achieve its agenda of ensuring that no one is left behind when it comes to provision of healthcare. We want to invite you to the discussions that we will be having tomorrow and the following day. And we also want to again invite all stakeholders into the final launch that will take place on 28th of this month. The reason for the launch is to make sure that we educate all our stakeholders, including our staff, principals, head of department, and our partners to know and buy into our dream and help us to achieve that dream. I want to say it is possible. If we can dream it, we can achieve it. And therefore, all of us need each other for us to achieve these milestones. Thank you. May God bless you. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, CEO. If we can dream it, we can achieve it. So we've come to the end of our panel discussion today. We shall have more discussions tomorrow, starting from 8:30 and the next day again, as earlier announced. So thank you so much. This discussion was aired in Zoom and channeled through our YouTube and Facebook channels. So thank you so much, viewers, and have a nice day. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Good job, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.